Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Enjoy the Bounty of Planning with Tonisha Taylor. So y'all, I have been promising you guys a planner packing video for TeamCarryOn for like a minute. So we are finally going to go ahead and do that today. I am super excited. I have a trip coming up. I actually have two travel things coming up fairly close together. It is fall conference season. So I will be showing y'all one of the ways that I like to pack as TeamCarryOn. So today I'm going to be packing in my Notiq carry-on and the Notiq backpack that also matches. So we are going to take a look at that. Both of the, well actually 3 of the 4 trips that I have coming up are things where I am going to be presenting at a conference and going to be presenting or have to go to a meeting the day I arrive. So I'm also going to be showing you how I prepare for that so that I have something comfortable and chic to travel in, but also that's gonna look good if I add like 1 or 2 accessories, swap something out, and so I'll be able to go straight from the airport to whatever meeting I have as soon as I get there. The cloth and paper packing insert to really organize my pack. I'm also going to talk through some of the things that I do. So one of the things that I do want to mention that I do when I am packing for carry-on, and let me say this, I'm TeamCarryOn no matter what happens. I'm TeamCarryOn to a conference, I'm TeamCarryOn when I go to visit my family, I'm TeamCarryOn when I go to hang out and visit with friends. I am TeamCarryOn. I don't believe in checking bags. I don't believe in checking bags because I don't believe in the weight, and I don't believe in the extra cost either. So I'm TeamCarryOn all things all the time. So yeah. For that reason, I have in the past definitely paid a little extra for tickets to make sure that I can board early, especially during the Christmas season, so that I am not in a position where I might have to check a bag just because I boarded the plane late and there's no carry-on space left anymore. So yeah, so I'm definitely, like I said, I'm TeamCarryOn all the way. So to make this work on longer trips, I do bring larger carry-on bags. The Notiq bags are the smallest carry-on set that I have. So we have the Notiq backpack, and then in a previous video I showed you the carry-on roller board that matches this backpack. So this is the set we're gonna be packing today. I do use packing cubes as well. The biggest tip I can give you, whether you're traveling for business or for pleasure and you're trying to become TeamCarryOn, pick a color or 2, no more than 2 colors. So when you're packing your things, you're gonna notice the color scheme for this trip is pink and green. Interestingly, I'm not going to, it's not a conference for my organization, yet that's the color scheme I went with. I think it's because that's just, I don't know, I'm in the mood for it. I love that color scheme year round. Green is one of my favorite colors. And I just love a good green color scheme. Now, I pick a color generally, so I might pick like blue or green or pink or like gold or brown or navy or black as my, or even gray as my base color. And then I choose 1 accessory color. So this trip that I'm packing for, that I'm showing you, green is the base color, pink is the accent color. So that means that other things like handbags, pocketbooks, planner covers are gonna be in that either in that primary color or that secondary color. Now, there have been times, I will admit, because I do have a pink carry-on bag, that my rollerboard has been pink, or I have a pink one and a blue one. And so I might have my rollerboard match my color scheme. I'm not doing that this time, but that's definitely something. If you want to go whole hog on it, you know, you can do that. And so, and I've also I've done it where, because I have a few different makeup totes and toiletry bags and things like that. My toiletry bag this time isn't gonna match the color scheme because I'm using the brown leather toiletry bag that we received in our cloth and paper estate subscription a little while back. So I'm gonna be using that for toiletries, and then I'm going to be using, I have some beige color packing cubes that I'm going to be using for my intimate garments, and then also for my shoes, and then the rest of the clothes are just going to get packed in the bag. So you'll see how that works. So let's go ahead and move over to the desk and write up our packing list. I think that if you're Team Carry On, two big things that are really important is making sure that you actually write out all your things that you're planning to pack and planning to take, and then that you also stick to your color scheme. This will make it much easier to be able to fit everything in your bag, so you won't be having to deal with that as an issue. And then it also helps you to make some decisions ahead of time. When you're Team Carry On, you really have to, you have to make decisions ahead of time because you have a finite amount of space. I mean, you have a finite amount of space even if you're checking a suitcase, but because you can have a larger bag if you're checking a suitcase, you could kind of just throw everything in there and decide what you want to wear when you get there. You don't have that luxury when you're Team Carry On. When you're Team Carry On, you have to plan what you're gonna wear before you leave, because if it don't fit, it ain't going. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at how we get that done, so that we can be fashionable and cute when we get to where we're going, but we have everything that we need. All right, let's go ahead and head to the desk and get started. All right, so we are at the desk. So right now I am in my black Croco Notiq cover. This is the black mask cover. But I think for this trip, I'm gonna wanna switch to my rose gold cover. I actually love the way the black discs look inside of this. And I actually think I'm gonna do a little pre-trip switch. So I'm actually gonna switch into this cover for everything before the trip as well. So let's go ahead and switch this out right now. Ooh, she looks so pretty. Just love the look of this cover. So I'm gonna switch out all of my pockets and just put everything in here. Oops. This is also a great, when you travel and switch out your pockets, sometimes there's also a great opportunity to just, not just switch out your pockets, but honestly clean them out and look and see like what's even in there. Do you need that? Like what's happening? So we're gonna put our highlighter back. I'm gonna grab this stuff. Actually, let me just kind of glance at some of this and make sure, do I even need this? Some of this stuff is stuff that, this is why it's important to kind of take a moment and take a look, because all of this stuff is stuff I need to keep, but it's not stuff that needs to move because all of that stuff is done. So we're gonna just move our pocket decor and bring it with us. I love this. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, and then right now we're carrying our black pencil case from Cloth and Paper. And what I'm gonna do is switch over to my green pencil case. So this army green, and for this one, I'm just gonna grab everything and stick it in here. And it's just gonna be a total move, and then we'll put this in here so that it keeps its nice pretty shape. All right. And because those are basically the same size by the same company, everything basically kind of fits. So yay. All right, so let's put her there. So in my planner, I used to have a wellness section. I took that section out and made a whole separate wellness journal. Put the travel section in instead. This section was in the front of my planner section, and so now it's just gonna be its own personal section. So for this trip that's coming up, I also put in this section the Daily Digest cover. This dashboard is also from Cloth and Paper, and so is this journaling card. So I have together my ideal day in this section, because I also find that I don't really need a reminder of what my ideal day is supposed to be during the regular time when I'm like at home, but sometimes I feel like I need that when I'm traveling, because I don't know, I travel, even when I'm traveling for work, sometimes vacation brain takes over and it's a thing. So in this section, I'm using the Cloth and Paper projects pages, and I use this to be able to write out things that I need to remember, things that I need to do in order to prepare for the trip. And so on here, again, like I said, I'm using the project sheets. I just wanted to go ahead and block out some hotel and airfare information, obviously, on here. But I use this area to sort of plan out the budget usually, and then this area to list any to-dos. This does have another timeline section on the back, and so I'll often use this to help with a countdown of what's going to happen next, in terms of like what I need to do, especially for a conference, as a conference is coming closer, if I'm presenting a paper or even a round table or anything like that. For this particular conference, I don't have any kind of presentation responsibility. I'm really just going to learn. And so I don't really need to have like a timeline written out for prepping for that conference, because I don't have anything that I have to do or present. But along with a project form like this for each trip, I use also a packing list. Now I use this same thing even for personal travel because I will actually, as soon as I decide I'm going on a trip, even if I'm going on a trip like to just visit friends or go on vacation, I'll pull this out and start planning and kind of getting my ideas and my dreams together for how I want the trip to go. And again, budgeting how much money. This also helps me figure out budgeting how much money I'm going to need to spend. Also helps me to figure out, especially when we're talking about a work trip, how much I'm actually going to ask the university to cover and how much I'm going to cover on my own. Budgeting ahead of time also helps me to realize if I'm even going to ask the university for money at all. But for the packing list, we are going to go ahead and pull out some pens here, I think I'm actually gonna use this one. I love this sparkling highlighter pen you can order it on the Cloth and Paper website. I will remember to tag that one. And then this is just a Tombow. I've used this one a lot and I've had it for a long time, so I can't remember what number this is or any of that. This was from before I was the type of person who had the pen swatches and could actually swatch a pen and then say what number or color that is. Yeah, that's from before that. So I just highlighted across here. Now, what I usually will do is highlight across, and always in this color because this is the color I use for travel. And then across here, I'm not going to do it now because it's a lot of information I don't necessarily want on the internet like that. But I would normally write across here the location where I'm going, the conference where I'm going, and the dates of the conference across the top. And then in these sections, I start to fill in what are the things that I need to bring with me. So, and then I highlight so that I know what I'm looking at. So we have the essentials, then we have toiletries, we have clothing, we have technology, we have shoes, and on the back, we just have a blank set of lists, of tasks lists. So if you have additional things that you need to bring, especially if you're traveling for a long time, if you're going, I have faculty friends who do like study abroad trips with their students, something like this, you know, you might want to plan out for yourself, but you might need to bring extra stuff. If you're doing a study abroad trip with students, you might need to bring like documents, university documents, and you might want to write what university documents you need to bring. If you're a speech and debate coach and you travel with students, you know, same thing. You might have university documents or like research documents that you need to bring, or, you know, anything like that you could just add as extra lists. But for this trip, again, I'm traveling on my own, going to a publishers conference. And so this one, all of these basic sections are good enough for me. So interestingly enough, the first section I usually fill out is actually the technology section, because even though I have never forgotten my laptop, I have forgotten the power cord for it. And I use a MacBook Air. Friends, do any of y'all use a MacBook Air? Have any of y'all left your power cord at home? Have you found yourself depressed and heartbroken because of it? I have. Like I said, I've never left my laptop. I always remember to bring that. But I don't always remember to bring the power cord. Okay, everybody, so right here, I'm gonna go ahead and start speeding y'all along because I realized in editing that this got really long. And actually this whole video got long, and so I want to kind of speed it up for you. So yeah. Here's a little music and a little speed. Here we go. Packing list. back and we are on the floor because I actually find that it's easier to just pack the suitcase if you just lay everything out. So yeah, sometimes I lay it out on the bed, but sometimes I find that I just lay it out on the floor. The floor is the biggest table in your house. So, and that I got from a friend of mine. Her son, when he was young, used to always say that. So yeah, so piled on top of my suitcase are some of those things that we said we were gonna bring. So before we get too crazy, we also wanna make sure we grab all of the other things that we need to pack. So my crossbody, my pencil case, which you'll notice the planner things I actually didn't put on the list. And that's because these are the things that come with me every day anyway. And so they're not really special packing items. So I always have my planner and my pencil case with me every day, no matter what. So they just come along. And then I have my rocks box. So here I actually just have it with the gold jewelry that I plan to bring with me. But if I was going to, because I'm planning to bring the box with the new delivery in it, I'm actually just waiting for it to come. I just wanted to show this so that you can see how big this is and the kind of space that you're going to need to have if that's what you're choosing to bring with you. And then plus in here, I already, and this is something I'm in the habit, I've gotten more in the habit of doing, is I've put in here everything that I intend to bring. So I have my necklace in here, my rings in here, earrings, bracelet, and right now because I've got my silicone band on, my gold watch band is also in there. And then I also have, whoops, behind the camera, my toiletry bag, which like I said is always pre-packed. My brush bag that has my makeup brushes in it. And then my eyeshadow palette, my blush palette, and my bronzer palette, which are the things that aren't pre-packed. And so I usually just make a choice based on the color scheme of the clothes that I'm bringing with me. I make a choice for my makeup and then I pack that. And then I have my iPad mini. This is a work trip, so I'm gonna be bringing my laptop. So this is my laptop case. There's not a laptop in here, it's just the case. And then my Notiq backpack. And the funny thing is, in here right now, so I have my everyday stuff that I bring, which is, this bag is open right now because I need to dump it out. There's a bunch of extra stuff in here, extra makeup from the last 2 weeks and all kinds of stuff in there, so we need to clean that out. I do actually have a rocks box thing in here because I need to return this one. But this is what it looks like when you're going to be returning it. So as you can see, this is a lot of extra packaging. So I actually thought it would be a good idea to stick this in here for right now, so that we could see how much space this is gonna take up. Now the truth is, actually no, we're gonna stick with this. Because the truth is, I would pack it like this because this takes up a lot of extra space when you stick it in its prepackaged, in its return envelope bag. But this return envelope bag can lay flat, so you can stick this as a flat bag on the back, in the inside back pocket of your laptop bag, which I've done in the past. You could also fold it up if you needed to. But with the box in there, it's designed to not crush the box. So it's hard to pack if you put the box in the bag. It's easier to pack them separately because they take up less space that way. Okay, and then right now I have a bag of snacks and then my card case, because I've been carrying my card case instead of my wallet the last 2 days. But normally I would be in my zipper clutch wallet. So this is perfect because we're gonna just stick this inside here and then we're all done. And then my Apple Pencil, which apparently had fallen off. And so when I'm traveling, what I will do is, instead of leaving this on here, is I actually will stick this inside the clutch so that it doesn't get lost. So we're just gonna stick those things in there right now. So we're gonna stick the card case in there, and then we're gonna stick the Apple Pencil in there just for the moment. Okay. Now the other thing that you want to do, if you're using for your personal item a bag, a backpack, a purse, a tote that you normally use as an everyday carry in your regular life, you do want to make sure that you go through all your pockets and make sure to clean this bag out. You want to start from empty when you are about to travel. And that's just so you can make sure that you're really only bringing the things with you that you need. Because as we all know, friends, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else, when you're carrying a bag every day, you put all kinds of crap in the thing. And you don't need all of that. You don't need the extra weight. You don't need the extra security concerns either. If you're planning to travel and use your regular everyday bag as a carry-on bag. Okay, so we've now emptied this out. So we are gonna start with putting in the laptop bag first. And actually, I'm gonna grab my laptop because when I pack for these things, I also like to make sure that I'm being accurate in terms of weight and size. So even though my MacBook Air is pretty flat, I don't like to pack just a empty bag. I like to make sure that I have inside this the item that's going to be inside of it so that I know how much space I'm working with. So let me just grab that real quick. Oops, we forgot our cuticle oil. Okay, so that's it. That's our bag that's going to go into our carry-on or into our backpack. And there we go. That's everything. Okay. Now this is normally what I would carry around anyway, except for the laptop. I don't necessarily carry the laptop around every day. And then you just drop this right on top when it's time to get on the plane. Before, when you're walking through the airport, you might leave this out so that your backpack will actually close better. Right? So while you're running around the airport, you might want your backpack to be closed a little bit more securely. So you're gonna go ahead and close it up just like that, and then wear this on the outside. And then when it's time to get on the plane, you're just gonna open her up. You're gonna stick her inside there, and you're gonna just pull the flap back over. One of the things that a flight attendant told me years ago about using a crossbody and being able to just stick it in a bag, she's like, we don't require the bag to close, we just require everything to fit. Baby, life-changing information from a gate agent. I think it was a gate agent, actually it was the same flight. The gate agent said it outside and a flight attendant said it inside the plane. I was like, friend, thank you. So that's it. Now our backpack is packed. The normal every day, but we don't need them on this trip. So that's why we took them out. So we have our jewelry box to pack, our makeup brushes and toiletries still to pack. I'm actually gonna drop this bag of snacks right back in there. Okay, so we have, let me actually, because I think that between what's hanging and this pile, I think I actually have more than I'm supposed to. So I'm gonna pull out my planner from my bag because now we know everything fits, no problem. Pull out that packing list that I made. And I'm going to start to check off everything that I need to pack. So We packed our laptop already. We packed our power cord already. We packed our charger base, our brick, our iPad mini. Oh, and our beats are downstairs. So we're not gonna mark those off because we need to go ahead and get those. So we have everything in our first bag, so we just need to get into our second bag. So I like to, when I do this, I do like to have my checklist out in front of me so that I don't forget anything. I have been Team Carry On for the last, I think maybe 12 years, 13 years. I started being Team Carry On in 2020. No, I was about to say 2020 something. No, I started being Team Carry On in 2012. So in 2012, I went to a conference, and I had back-to-back conferences in Spain and in the UK. And my university, there were 3.5-ish weeks between the conference in London and the conference in Barcelona. My university was like, we'll pay for you to go to both, but we won't pay for you to come home and go back. So they were like, so you decide, either pick one or take care of yourself for the 3.5 weeks between the two. You know what your girl chose. So I stayed, but what I did was I packed 2 suitcases. I packed a carry-on rollerboard, and then I packed a checked bag, right? And then I also had like a personal bag, like a big tote bag for like a purse and laptop and all that stuff. Oh my God. Trying to get through the streets of London that way, trying to get through the streets of Barcelona that way, it was a lot. Okay? And when I came home, I was like, I'm watching people. It caught me a little bit in London, but really in Barcelona. When I'm watching people who are basically like backpacking through Europe, right? Because it's summertime, so I'm watching a lot of college kids. And I realized like these 2 conferences that I was going to, yes, both of them were multi-day conferences. They were 4 days each. They weren't the same people at either conference. So I really could have just brought one set of conference clothes and then clothes to make it through 3 weeks of living in between. And really, a lot of that could have been the same clothes because, y'all, I totally used the laundry service while I was in London. So I didn't take dirty clothes with me when I went to Spain. I stayed in London to do research after the conference, because the London conference was first. And my university wouldn't pay for me to go. I did all the budgeting and everything, and I was like, oh my God, it would be way cheaper to spend 3 weeks in Spain than 3 weeks in London. But they wouldn't pay for my ticket from London to Spain that much earlier than the Spain conference. So I was like, so they were like, if you do that, you're gonna have to pay for it on your own. I was like, well, never mind, I'll just stay where I'm at. So I just like reconfigured my budget to make it work for me financially to be able to do that. But what I learned from that was like, you don't need to bring all those clothes, right? You don't need all those suitcases. Like, that's all just too much. The other thing I started looking for, and I found an article, I think it was on a blog, I think it was a blog post from a blog called Travel Noir, which was all about like Black folks who travel. And this idea of bringing just 2 colors, that was on that website, on that blog, and having like doing a list, only bringing 2 colors, having a main color and accessory color. And that was life-changing. And I've done it ever since. So what y'all saw me kind of do was sort of fold up some items. So one of the things that wasn't on my list is a blazer or a jacket. I never put that on my list because I always bring that as a separate item. I wear it on the plane. And yeah, I never put on those. I don't really know why. I think it's because it's just one of those things I never forget. Like I said, I could forget a power cord for my laptop. I never forget a jacket. It's probably because I'm super anemic and I'm always cold. So I never forget a jacket. So the jacket, blazer, coat, overcoat when I'm traveling during more wintry months, whatever it is, it always is in the color scheme. So this time we're going with this light olive colored blazer. I'm just folding it in half just to have it here right now. But I wouldn't, like I said, this wouldn't get packed. This would actually be worn on the plane with me. So what I'm gonna do is actually just put this to the side. Okay, folks, so you know me, I get a little long-winded sometimes. So we're gonna go ahead and speed it up right here, and I'll see y'all on the other side of the speed up. So I would typically prepare to go for a trip as TeamCarryOn. Oops, knocked over my little decor. So like I said, a necklace like this, I love. It's gold. It's got this really beautiful light green pendant. We have our light green blazer and our dark green dress. So we're just gonna go ahead and on this little hook, we're gonna hook on our necklace. We're gonna hook on our blazer. I especially am a fan of setting up an outfit for travel like this when I'm leaving on an early morning flight. My flight out for this trip leaves at like, I think 5:30 in the morning or 6 a.m. It's very early. So I want to make sure that I have my whole outfit set up and ready to go because I don't want to be thinking about anything like that when it's time to leave. Okay, so these are the tennis shoes we're gonna go with. I was thinking about grabbing my green Converse, but I need these tennis shoes to do two things. I need them to be the tennis shoes that I wear walking around the airport, but I also need them to be the tennis shoes that I wear when I'm working out. And I can't work out in Converse. So, and then since I had to go downstairs, I went ahead and grabbed my flats. And then these are gonna be the shoes we're gonna switch out. Because I think, yeah, those are gonna look cuter with all of the dresses I'm bringing. And then I completely forgot that I didn't bring a cover up for that swimsuit. Can't walk through the hotel in a bikini. I mean, I guess you could, but all right, so let's go ahead and swap some stuff out. I'm on the floor. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna swap out those booties. And we're also gonna pack these flats. So again, you'll notice by having sort of the accent colors up front, if I were to decide like, you know, upon closer reflection, I really don't want to do the pink and green thing. Maybe I want to do green and blue, or green and gray, or green and taupe. Then I could easily switch out all of the accent color things and switch in a different accent color. And that is super easy to do, right? So let's go ahead and pull this out because we did change our mind on those shoes already. So we're gonna put our flats in here. We're gonna go ahead and put our heels in here. And again, in playing like shoe Tetris, suitcase shoe Tetris, we're gonna have to be really careful about how we do this so that we can pack this bag as flat as possible. Now it looks like, y'all, we got 3 pairs of shoes in here, and it looks like we're gonna do way better than we did before. Now, I don't know if we're really gonna be able to flatten this. Now, it doesn't seem like this is gonna flatten for us because these wedges are definitely more, you know, they're more sturdy, but if we were going to wear the wedges and pack the tennis shoes, we could definitely flatten this out more so that it would give us a little bit more compression to be able to take up less room in the suitcase. But as it is, it's gonna do fine. So we're gonna go ahead and stick that back down in there. I think that, might be able to get that to squeeze down a little bit more. Now I am all for like roll it, squeeze it, flatten it as much as you can. Because again, when I get to the hotel, I'm gonna ask them for a steamer and I'm gonna steam out these clothes. So you won't be able to tell that I scrunched them in here in the smallest possible rolled up, folded up fashion that I could get them in here. Okay. Because again, that's what the steamer is actually even for. So let's see. I think we can get these down one more. Just a little bit smaller. This is also what happens when you like unpack and repack. You're like, oh, I could fold that up a little bit more. Okay, we're gonna actually just leave that. Get that in there. Put that on top. Oh yeah. Boom. All right. Now, look at that. We got an extra pair of shoes in there, got an extra piece of clothing in there, and we're still gonna be able to shut ourselves completely in. Just wanna make sure there's nothing coming out of the sides. Oops, there we go. I'm gonna get everything in there. A little bit of fabric that's trying to reach out. All right. Lock that on down and boom, there we go. Woohoo! So this, again, this does have a little bit of a bulge, not gonna lie. Because honestly, again, this is definitely packed for a 5-day trip. Then this is probably more of a 2 to 3 day bag. A 5-day bag, a 5-day pack really is pushing it. Now, if I used I have some other packing cubes, but the thing is that my other packing cubes are, they themselves are too long or too wide. So I wouldn't be able to get as much in here if I used those. So you do want to make sure that when you're using packing cubes in your carry-ons that you're using packing cubes that are good size for those carry-ons. Sometimes packing cubes are really more designed for checked luggage, so they're not really the right size for a carry-on bag. They take up more space than they add. So something to consider. But I do always use a packing cube for my shoes and for my underwear because I just don't want those things flopping around in the bag. But as you can see, we got quite a lot in here for our 5-day trip. So we're in good space, right? And I'm really excited about it. So we have our tennis shoes, we have our dress, blazer, and jacket, and then we have our personal item. And you know what? We are ready to go on our trip. So I hope y'all enjoyed this long awaited carry-on pack with me, and I will see y'all on the next one, okay? Have a great day. Enjoy the bounty of your plans. Bye, everybody.